Okay, guys, so greetings everyone, yes, and welcome to the lesson. And today we have a very interesting topic for discussion. Yes, we are going to speak about the future of our planet. Yes. Ooh. So, to start with, we are going to watch a short episode of the video and we will imagine how it could be. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, we watch the video and we switch on our imagination. Agree?
Okay.
Okay, so that was the general impression, yes.
Yeah.
So I think today we will try to speak about the possible future, but before that, let's study some grammatical constructions, yes, which could be useful for expressing the future. Gregory?
Aha. Okay. And I think in your chat there is a document on making predictions. So talking about the future and what we think will happen is a prediction. And generally we use will to talk about the future. And let me pull up the document as well. And I think you all are familiar with this. So in the future, I can say, we will live on Mars. And we can also use the phrase going to. We are going to live on Mars. I think for predictions, will is more common. They're both correct. People will understand both. And then we also use a phrase, will be, plus the gerund form of a verb. We will be living on Mars. in 30 years. So if we're using a time in the future, we can use this phrase. We will be living on Mars in the year 2050. And we could use going to as well. In this case, we are going to be living on Mars in 2040. And also when we make predictions, if we're not sure or we want to express some doubt, we could use modal verbs, might, may, and could. We might be living on Mars, but I don't think so. Or we may be living on Mars, or we may be living on the moon. Or another way, again, you are making a prediction, but you're not too certain about it. We could be living on Mars, but it will be difficult. Something like that. So that's generally how we speak about the future. One thing English speakers do when we're using this phrase going to quite often, in normal speech, you will hear native speakers reduce going to gonna. We are gonna live on Mars, or we are gonna be living on Mars. Now, this is very casual English, very informal, but you will hear it all the time. And gonna is just an easier way to say going to. It's faster and it's easier to say. So if I say going to, although it's not difficult, I can get rid of the ing and the t of going. I take off ing and I just leave the n, gun, and for to is reduced to gonna. And we also do this with want to. I want to go. And again, we take away the T. The T sound in English is what we call an aspirate. To make the T sound, I have to use my breath. And you can tell if you put your hand in front of your mouth and say to, you can feel your breath.
To, yes.
So we want to save our breath, and so we don't make the T sound. So instead of want to, wanna. It's easier and uses less air to produce the sound. And so then we can talk more, talk faster. So quite often talking about the future plans, you will hear speakers of English say gonna. I think we're gonna live on Mars in 10 years. So that's making predictions. And I'll share one thought. I saw the video from watching the video. We saw a man get out of his car, and then he stood on I don't know what to call it. He stood on a wheel with
I think it is called mono wheel, Greg.
A mono wheel. There we go. He stands on the mono wheel and he takes off. So I think we will lose the use of our legs in the future.
Oh my God.
Because in this video, we didn't see anybody walking or riding a bicycle or running. We just saw them moving by using some kind of machine. So everyone will be fat. Yes. Or yes. or they won't be able to use their legs very much.
Okay, so very good point, Greg. Yes. And I think, guys, now we are going to try to make some predictions for the future. Yes. Using the grammar, yes, of the future. So I will try to do my example.
Okay.
So I think in the nearest future, the cars will fly. Yes. Okay, I have this idea starting from my childhood. Yes, do you remember the movie, very famous one, Back to the Future? Назад в будущее. Okay, there it was possible to fly, yes, with a car. So my idea is that cars will fly in the future, and maybe they will not be called cars anymore. Yes, maybe some planes. Okay, please share your ideas.
I think we will not study because there will be some, I don't know, special CD discs that could the scientists could put it in your brain.
Ah, okay.
So we will download some knowledge in our brains, yes?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Anybody else? Sergey, what do you think?
I think we will use a renewable source of energy because it's not pollution, air, not destroyed ozone layer, and I think we have we will have a new device that help us communication each other.
Ah, yeah. Sergey, what is the most common renewable energy source in Russia?
I think in Russia we're gonna refuse. We're gonna use new resource maybe in 30 years.
Okay.
Interesting.
I think for Russia, source in energy, Russia very depend of source of energy that use now.
Ah, okay. Okay. I know here in Spain, solar is a big renewable energy, only because it's so sunny here all year.
Yes.
Oh, good. Good.
Okay, Igor, please share your ideas.
Okay, my prediction is probably in maybe 20 years we will have some sort of stable colony, maybe on the moon. Right now we have International Space Station. Maybe in a few decades we'll have a similar thing on the moon or maybe on the Mars, where people will be present all the time. It will be great.
So, Igor, would you like to live in a colony on the moon or Mars?
Maybe for a short period of time.
Okay, tell me how short. 1 year, 2 years, 1 week?
I would say a few months, maybe. Definitely not my whole life.
Ah, interesting. Okay, okay. You want to visit, but you don't want to live there.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the space station? Would you want to visit the space station for a short time?
Yes, definitely. I believe it would be a once in a lifetime experience. It would
Yes.
definitely be great.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Good. Good.
Okay, Natalia, how do you see the future? What will be there in the future?
I think that in the future we will live in the same territory and be one country. People will speak the same language. Cars will fly, and we will be served.
Okay, repeat the last sentence, please. I couldn't hear you.
Так. Я вас плохо слышу.
И, Наталья, повторите последнее предложение, была плохая связь.
We will be served by robots.
Oh, we will be served by robots. Okay.
Interesting. Natalia, you said we will all speak the same language. Which language do you think that will be?
I think use English language.
English language?
Yes, yes.
Interesting. Interesting. It could also be Chinese language as well. How many? Are there more English speakers or Chinese speakers now?
I think English language because it's world language.
I think so too.
Окей, у нас какая-то помеха сильно идет. Вот сейчас лучше. Лучше отключить микрофон, когда говорим. Better to switch off the mic when we are not speaking. Okay, thank you. Now it's better.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I read the statistics and it said the Chinese language is on the top. It's the most popular and the most spoken language in the world now. Igor, do you agree with me or not?
It's hard to... Huh? Sorry?
Yes, go on.
Oh, it's hard to say because I don't have any statistic right now. But probably it's... I would say Chinese is more popular, but English is more geographically spread, I believe.
Yes, you're right.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I also think English is easier to read and write than Chinese. So my prediction is if there's going to be one dominant language in the world, I think it will be some form of English. Maybe not American English, not British English, but something new. It's going to be an international English.
Chinese English.
Yeah. What's that, Igor?
Chinese English.
Yes. A mix.
Good point. Yes, I like it.
Chinese, but with normal letters.
That could be it.
What?
Good point, Olga. Yeah, Chinese, but written in written in the English alphabet. Yeah. Okay. So, do you all know the term sci-fi? I'm going to put it here in chat. It is.
How it is translated, Игорь?
Scientific fiction, научная фантастика.
Okay. Научная
Yep.
фантастика. Yes, great.
That's it. We say sci-fi, but you're right. Igre is short for science.
Scientific fiction, научная фантастика.
Science fiction. So I have a question for everyone. What is your favorite science fiction movie?
Какой ваш любимый фильм фантастика?
Probably my one is Interstellar.
Star Wars?
Interstellar, okay.
What? I'm sorry, one more time. What's the name?
Interstellar.
Interstellar. Okay, okay. Where's that movie from?
I'm not really sure. It came out like 5 or maybe 7 years ago.
Okay, okay. Anybody else? Sergey, what is your favorite, or do you like science fiction? And if so, what is your favorite science fiction movie?
I wanted to say Interstellar too, but
Yeah, great.
I'm like movie Star Wars, but it's not science fantastic.
You don't think Star Wars is science fiction?
No, it's not science. It's just futuro fantastic.
Okay.
It's fairy tale about future.
Okay, good. Natalia, how about you?
Matrix.
What is your favorite movie about science fiction?
Yeah,
or the future.
My favorite movie, Matrix.
Matrix?
Matrix. Ah, yeah.
Okay.
And Olga, how about you?
Olga, are you with us?
There you are.
I'm talking, but the microphone is off. I was saying that my favorite movie is Chimera. It's a movie about chimera. It's a movie about a child of animal and a human. It's very disgusting.
My God.
Okay, interesting. And where did you see this movie?
At home in the internet.
Okay, I'm looking it up. Yes. About genetics?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, Okay. So that leads me to a question about the future. What do you think will be the biggest problem about the future?
Our atmosphere.
What's that?
Our nature and atmospheric.
Oh, okay. The environment and nature? I'll tell you my biggest fear, and that is my biggest fear is that technology, how should I say this? That we won't be able to control technology.
Oh.
So I think, and I'll give you an example. 30, 40 years ago, if you bought a car, it was simple mechanics. And if the car had a problem, is that your dog snoring?
Yeah.
Okay. If you had a problem, you could fix your car, or a mechanic could fix your car easily. Now cars have so many electronic components, so many small chips or microchips or electronic parts, that if the car doesn't work, it's very difficult or very expensive to fix. And so I think technology can help us, but it can also keep us from doing what we want to do, because the idea or the way to overcome a problem is going to be more difficult in the future. What do you think?
Yes, I think. Yeah, I think we have this problem, but I think it's problem not nearest future. When we can lost control with our technology, and about this movie Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
When I started control people, AI started use people for it interesting.
Yes.
Good point, yes.
So, Sergey, are you talking about AI?
AI.
Okay.
Yes.
And what does AI stand for? You know?
Before?
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
Искусственный интеллект.
Да. Yes, I know.
Anybody else? What do you think? Is technology going to be a problem in the future, or will it make our life better? Igre, what do you think?
My opinion is technology is going to make our life better, but maybe resources will be the problem, because eventually they will be depleted, and even now, like right now, we have some. I don't remember a full story, but maybe you heard something about delays in PlayStation 5 release.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very funny, but the reason is shortage on the market of microelectronics, полупроводники.
Yes.
And so it's like we already see the start of this problem, and maybe in 100 or in a few hundred years it will be a huge problem. We will be very technologically advanced, but we will have very little resources.
Yes, I agree. And Igre, I laughed because before this lesson, I was reading the news, and one of the articles was about the PlayStation 5 shortage.
Oh.
So then when you mentioned it, I thought it was very, very interesting, very timely. But yes, also it's affecting car production in the United States because of a lack of microchips. So I know that, for example, I think it's Ford has stopped production because they don't have the microchips that they need. Okay, anybody else? What do you think? Technology in the future?
I think everyone will have a depression because of the social rights and much communication not in a real life. Because now I read some news that everyone in 10 years, the most popular infection or something like that will be apathy and depression.
Wow. Depression and what else?
And apathy, I don't know.
Okay, like losing of interest, apathy.
Oh, okay. Apathy. Yes, yes, yes. Ah, yes. Interesting. And depression. Mhm. So the future isn't looking too good. I think we will lose control of our legs because we won't use them. And Olga says we're going to be depressed and apathetic. Does someone have a more optimistic view of the future?
Okay, so I was thinking about the problem of the pollution of the environment in our world, which exists right now, and we feel the shortage of some natural resources. Yes. And I think in the future, first of all, we need to try to use our planet resources very carefully. Yes. For us and for the future generations, because it's our home, you know, we have to take care about it. And maybe in the future we will not have to, for example, make some colonies on Mars, yes, in this case. So we need to save our planet first of all, in the nearest future, yes. I hope it was optimistic.
Ah, yes. There's some optimism there. Uh-huh.
And what do you prefer? To move to live in Mars, or to stay in the Earth and to try to make things better here?
Okay, so if you ask me, I imagine that Mars is a bare planet without atmosphere or air to breathe. It's empty,
But
without
Elon Musk,
life, and so for me, it's better to save life here on the planet Earth than to move and make the colony, build, I don't know, the protection for all people. That was your question?
yes. But
Yeah.
Elon Musk want to ask to Putin to explore the Mars to make some air in the other planet.
Wow, interesting.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Any ideas about these guys? Thoughts, ideas?
I hope in future will be development and breakthrough in medicine, medical. We can we will be win many disease, many heart disease, like cancer, like other bad disease.
Yeah. Yeah, Sergey, I agree with you. I think technology in the future can be a good thing, especially for medicine and for our health, to be able to cure or even to be able to prevent diseases, or, for example, in this case, our case now, to prevent pandemics and from spreading. I think we've seen technology in the past year at its best with the development of a vaccine so quickly to deal with the pandemic. Has anybody here gotten a vaccine yet for COVID?
Not yet.
Not yet? No, Natalia? No. Okay. Okay. I want to ask about architecture and what you think that might look like in the future. And I think we will be living in smaller spaces. And I think we're going to have greener buildings in the future. And I'll give you an example of a green building. This seems to be a trend now in architecture, and it's for what's called a living roof. So they build a new building, and on top of the building, they put dirt, and then they grow flowers or grass or trees. Number one, for the environment, but also number two, because this is a good way to insulate the building from heat or cold, plus to make it more pleasing to look at. So this is one step in the future architecture. Another one, I think, again, is smaller living spaces. Do we need big houses or big apartments, or can we live in a smaller space with more technology? So tell me, what do you think? How will we be living in the future, in 20 years or 30 years?
I think spaces will be smaller. Unfortunately, we already see it from year to year. Living houses are bigger, but flats are smaller.
Mm-hmm.
It would be great to see more such green architecture, though. It's a great idea to make cities more comfortable, more livable. Also, I think we will see even bigger houses because of lots of modern materials which allow to build well, bigger houses, which is more space efficient.
Ah, okay, okay. And Igre, what kind of house do you want to be living in 20 years?
It would be great to live in a separate house, like a townhouse, but unfortunately it's very hard to have one and to not commute like a few hours every day.
Yes, yes.
So unfortunately it will be a flat, and I'm not sure how big it will be.
Okay, okay, good,
Okay,
good.
interesting.
Anybody else? What do you think your home will be like in 20 years?
I think I think I will be try live in more comfortable condition. It's will be house and many three close my house and a comfortable street, comfortable walking street, not many cars.
Okay.
But I think work that business center, business place where people will be many works, will be have many skies.
Skyscrapers?
Height house.
Skyscraper, yes.
skyscrapers, fly cars, but people, I think people always will be need relax for this. They always will be like something silence, something a quiet place when green square, when.
Yes. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think, Sergey, what you're saying, I agree with what you're saying, and I think this is part of the idea of adding green to architecture, so that even in a busy city, you still have grass and trees growing. It could be on top of a building or on a balcony, but yes, a way to make a peaceful environment even in a big city.
I think ideal, super ideal if place will be combine green place and innovation technology.
Yes. We have an apartment building here in Valencia that combines this many plants and green on the outside, but it's a big apartment building. I'll try to find a picture and then send it to you. Natalia, are you with us? No, I don't think so. Okay.
Микрофон включен.
I don't know.
Okay. And Gregory, did you want to show us some beautiful buildings with some very strange and nice architecture? Should I open them or not?
Yeah, let's show a picture of maybe a futuristic building.
Okay, I will show it. I will share my screen. Okay, have a look at these pictures, please. У меня есть демонстрация. Okay, so.
Okay. There we go. What do you think? Is this something that you think we'll see in the future, or is this not possible or too much?
It looks like airport of future.
Like an airport, okay. Yeah.
Yes, it's a good idea, like the airport of the future. Igor, what do you think? What is it?
It's very futuristic, and it somehow reminds me some of our modern buildings. I wouldn't be surprised if it would be something close to some, how should I say it? Imagine, for example, that famous building in Sydney.
Yes. The Sydney Opera House.
Yes, somehow it's similar. So I wouldn't be surprised to see such a building in like 10 years, maybe.
So, Igor, looking at the buildings there, what do you think they would be used for?
It looks like some high-class hotel, for example.
Okay.
Oh.
Interesting, yeah. Olga, what do you think? What do you think these buildings could be used for?
We can't hear you. put off or put on your mic.
Okay. It could be a planetarium or a cinema.
Wow.
Oh, a cinema. Wow. Okay. And Natalia, Natalia is gone.
Oh, she's gone. Yes. She's out from the chat.
Okay. What do you like this kind of architecture? If we're going to have buildings like this in the future, does that sound good to you, or what do you think?
Yes.
Sergey, what do you think?
I think it's very looks like a very technical place. I don't like this because I'm like when I see in one foot I see green, but I want that green that trees have more mix is our picture, because it looks like tower tower may it looks like Tower of Darth Vader is from Star
Okay.
Wars.
Okay, yeah, good.
Good. So
Great.
it's a palace. So it's a winter palace of Darth Vader.
Yes,
Ah, very good.
Okay,
Ingrid-
Greg, so do you want to open the
Well,
secret and tell us what is it?
Let's find out what Igre thinks of this architecture.
Okay.
Do you like it? Would you want to live there? Do you want more green like Sergey?
Yeah, definitely. I have similar opinion with Sergey. It looks very, metallic, very artificial, very cold. It would be great to have like twice more of a green than it has.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so yes, I will reveal the secret of these buildings. And the secret is they exist, they are real buildings, and they are here in Valencia. And one of them, as Olga mentioned, is a cinema. The one in the middle is a cinema. And the one behind it, Igre, you mentioned the Opera House in Sydney. This is the Opera House in Valencia. Now, this is a photograph, or no, this is a picture, a drawing.
So this is a photograph.
That's a photograph, that's real. The one in the middle has been enhanced. That is not what it looks like. But you see all the green trees there? Those are real, because these buildings are in our park here in the city. So it's hard to tell from this picture, but there is a lot of green space nearby. There are two more buildings, yes. One is a history museum, and one is a convention hall, but very, very modern architecture. And I agree with you both. Sometimes it's a little cold, but sometimes, especially like at night with lights on, it's very, very impressive, very impressive. And what you don't see in the photos is there are a lot of trees nearby, so lots of green space. But I wouldn't want to live in a building like that. To me, yeah, I don't know. I want a more traditional home, something, yeah, more traditional. But for me, I think in the future, a small living space is fine. I don't want a big house. I just want something easy to take care of. And I think also with more people in the world in the future, we will not have a choice. We're going to have to be in a smaller space so everyone can have a place to live. But that's my opinion. Any other thoughts? We can't hear you. Evgeny.
Евгений was.
The
Evgeny.
microphone.
Evgeny.
Sorry. So Gregory, thanks a lot for your very, very interesting story about this nice architecture of Valencia. Yes, it is made by a very famous architect, Santiago Calatrava. Yes, and I think the future sometimes really exists in our world. Yes, so and of course, in my opinion, many things are going to be changed with time. And I hope that everything will be fine. I mean, not worse what we have right now. For example, imagine now we have this terrible situation with the virus, which of course will change the world, yes, in the future. But I hope, as Sergey says, we will have cures from the diseases, yes. Mankind will be happy. And yes, in my opinion, we will live in smaller houses with smaller space because the space on the earth worth a lot in general. So, and I hope our planet will remain very, very green and we will plant more and more flowers.
Yes, yes. Igre, you work with technology, right?
Yeah.
And tell me more about what you're doing. Are you with technology now? You're working with some partners in Germany, or?
Well, right now I work in Siemens. My occupation is software development. So it's not exactly, how should I say it, like material technology, more of informational technology.
Sure. But that's the future, isn't it? Information technology.
Sort of, yes.
Yes. Do you have any concerns or hesitation about the future with information technology?
Well, it definitely possesses different kinds of risks. We can see it already, like right now. For example, when banks lose some data on their clients, which compromises our finances, which is not nice. But overall, information technology transform our world, and I think it's for better.
Okay.
I hope so.
Yes. I hope so too. I agree. I think we have started down a road and we can't turn back. We have to keep going forward with technology. Because, for example, I can't imagine life without a phone, a cell phone. I think it would be difficult to try to live without it now. But here's a question for everyone. So we've talked about the future and technology. Tell me one thing you would give up in the future. One thing that we have now, or an idea that could happen in the future that you're okay if we give up that idea. So I'll start, and if we didn't have social media, I would be okay. So no Facebook, no Instagram. If it disappeared tomorrow, no problem.
Okay, good point.
Anybody else? Some technology that you could live without?
То есть без какой технологии в будущем мы сможем прожить абсолютно легко, и мир станет лучше?
Without television.
Oh,
Which one?
why?
Television, TV.
Okay, but Olga, that also means YouTube, okay?
No, only television.
Okay,
No-
without
no
TV,
television,
but
no
with
YouTube.
Yes. Because of the YouTube, because everyone will watch YouTube instead of TV.
Okay, all right. Good, good. Sergey.
I don't know. I don't know yet. I think.
Okay. Igor, how about you? Technology you could live without.
Well, I also I also think about social media, but on one hand we need some sort of modern instant communication, but on another hand, for example, Olga mentioned depression, and probably you saw this Netflix documentary, Social Media, and it was linked that active users of social media are more, how should I say, are more больше подвержены.
More affected by?
Yeah, more affected by depression and other similar mental states. So probably social media need to be changed, but it's not clear how exactly it should be.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Good, good. Evgenia, how about you?
Okay, I have a very interesting idea about the future of our education. Okay, so I think in the future, the buildings of schools and universities will be gone. Why? Because all the process of education will be transferred in the sphere of online, if you understand me. Because as I work online, you know, I'm a tutor, and I see the tendency that more and more people come to study something in the internet. Okay, look, you have a lot of educational programs which exist really in the internet with a free access. Okay, and a person prefers to stay at home and study something in an easy way without leaving his home in a rainy weather. So I think step by step, the process of education in the world will be not in presence, if you understand, but somehow online. What do you think?
Do you think that would be better?
I, as a teacher, sometimes prefer to give lessons face to face.
Yeah, okay.
But the tendency is, imagine the situation with a virus. People prefer not to have the direct contact with another person, and we study online.
Yeah.
May I try continue thinking?
Yes, sure.
I think we will future in last century we have we try live in close to center because it's more expensive place, more business center, and because we work, we go into the work every day. But now we can work online. If we can work, go to the work one time per week, for example, one time per week, we won't need with live close to center. And I think cost apartment center will be falling down because people will start live outside city.
Yeah. Do you know Sergey, that's a good point, and it's already happening in San Francisco, where during the pandemic, so many people work from home that now many businesses in downtown San Francisco have gone away. Yeah, so I think you're right. As people move out, the city center will begin to die out as well. Interesting. But these two things are related. Sergey, what you said, and Evgenia, what you said. I'm afraid of a future where we don't come together, either at a university or a school or in a downtown, in a city setting where people get together, talk with their fellow students or talk with co-workers, or just the life on the street. Even if you're not talking to someone, you're seeing people or you're interacting. You're going to restaurants and cafes where now we sit at home and we just drink something from our kitchen. So I'm afraid of a future where the city center has died and we don't go to school to see each other in person. So I'm hoping after this year we can go back to how things were in the past, to some degree.
Okay. So I agree with you. I'm for live communication. I think it's wrong for me when friends don't have the opportunity to meet together. Yes, in the real life. Yes, it's better to meet for threads in real life. I'm sure.
Yes.
I like live conversation more too. It's my guilty pleasure.
That's a good guilty pleasure, Sergey. Igor, do you work in an office normally, or do you always work remote?
I prefer working from an office because it's easier to collaborate with colleagues, to maintain a contact.
Yes. And Olga, what about you? Do you prefer to go to your school, or do you like classes online?
I think you have to choose your way yourself, because if you have a job or another hobbies, or you're famous or you are ill, you have to study at home and in the special schools. But if you're like don't have much to do, like the most part of adolescents and children, you have to go to school to pass more time with people.
Yeah, okay. So I think social skills instead of social media.
Yes, I support it. Okay, so thank you very much for your interesting opinions about such an interesting topic as the future. Yes. And I think the lesson was wonderful and useful, and okay, it was great. What do you think?
I always enjoy talking with you all, so I had a great time. And I'd like to make a suggestion for something we can do during this time. And we touched on it a little bit at the beginning with describing how native speakers actually speak. So instead of saying going to, we say gonna. So if you're watching movies or YouTube or television or something in English and you hear something that's difficult to understand, or you think, why do they say this? Please write it down or save a clip and send it to Yevgenia, and then she can send it to me, and then we can talk about it together in this chat that we're having. I think understanding the way native speakers actually speak can sometimes be challenging. So if you have any questions along that line, let's incorporate that into our discussion.
Okay, guys.
And Yevgenia, what happens next Sunday?
Okay, so I think that next Sunday, again, we will have a wonderful lesson of speaking. And in Spain, there will be a shift of time. Yes, Gregory.
Yes.
В Испании у нас будет, мы будем сдвигать время, переводить время. Но я сообщу, на нас это никак не отразится.
Do you have daylight savings time in Russia?
So,
Yes.
now we have 2 hours difference with Russia. Yes, guys? Yes. Spain and Russia have 2 hours difference. And next Sunday, we will have only 1.
When does daylight savings time start in Russia?
2 o'clock. 10 minutes past 2.
But what day do you change your clocks?
Okay, Gregory, now Russia doesn't change the clock.
Ah, you don't have daylight savings. Okay.
No. It was cancelled some years ago.
Ah, okay.
So we always live in the same time. So.
I'm putting here in chat. Call it daylight savings time in English.
Okay.
Okay, so Russia stopped using daylight savings. Oh, okay. But for us, next Sunday, we will change our clocks ahead 1 hour. So
Yes.
okay. Good.
Okay, so thank you everybody for coming, and I hope it was interesting. And I think see you next time, guys. Okay.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.